Now I get asked this question an awful lot. The active exhaust, is it worth it? Whether you've got a V6 or a V8 or even a 2 litre in some of the newer models, there is an option you can spec on this car for an active exhaust. And what that gets you is a vacuum actuated butterfly valve in the exhaust. Because this is the V8, it's got the twin exit tailpipes. The V6 and the 2 litre has the centre exit. So I've got valves on either side of the back box here. And what that does is it opens up the outside exhaust. This one's permanently open and it opens up that when the valves are open. Same on the other side in the mirror format. And what that does is it bypasses baffles in the exhaust, removing some of that sound deadening and giving you a much louder, throatier exhaust note, which petrol heads just love. So how do I know if I have an active exhaust? Well, let me show you. In lieu of climbing underneath the car on the floor, there's an easier way of telling, and it will be here. A quick glance at the centre section, you'll see this button here. Now, anyone who's got an F Type will notice mine looks a bit different. I don't have the spoiler button next to the auto start stop, I just have that. And that is because there's no active spoiler on this car. It's a fixed wing spoiler from the factory, so it doesn't have the button to actuate the spoiler. So back inside the car, if you have this button here, you have an active exhaust. But what if I don't have that button? Can I still get an active exhaust? Well, yes, you can retrofit an active exhaust. You can have the switchgear put in, you can have it activated through the Jaguar main dealer software with a different back box. There's probably some vacuum lines involved somewhere, but it just depends on your appetite of spend versus what you actually get out of it. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you don't have an active exhaust, is your car any quieter than the next one? No. It just means it's always open and always loud. And do I ever drive my car with the exhaust turned off? No, I don't think so. I can't really think of many occasions. It goes straight into dynamic mode, straight into sport mode, and it stays there until I get out of the car again. So it's only really applicable if you think you want to turn your exhaust off, make it quieter per se. So it feels like a bit of a pointless retrofit unless you're concerned about driving in urban areas at antisocial times, I guess. Now, for the bit that you've probably come to this video for, let's do a sound comparison with the exhaust off and on. And I'll add, this is bone stock. It's got genuine Jaguar catalytic converters in it. It's got the standard centre section and the standard back box. Everything on this is bone stock. Jaguar were just having a mad 5 minutes when they made this car. This is probably going to fry my microphone, so we'll give it a go. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. As you can hear, there is a significant difference in sound. If you've got the exhaust valves closed, it's a lot quieter and it really springs to life the minute you open them up. And if you're driving around under load, the car sounds a lot different again. And if you're in closed mode, I guess if you want to call it that, if you haven't got the valves open, when you hit about 3,500–4,000 RPM under regular driving, they open up anyway. I guess that's a characteristic of what the engine needs in terms of through flow to get the exhaust gas out. So yeah, there is a massive difference there. It just sounds incredible. I don't know what Jaguar were doing when they when they designed this car. I'm not complaining. It sounds incredible. It's no secret in the F Type community that the butterfly valves in the active exhaust are a point of weakness. The more moving parts you introduce to something, the more points of failure you set yourself up for running the risk of having. And the cars are getting to an age now, certainly the earlier ones, where those valves are starting to be victims of failure. So just make sure, if you are in the market for an F Type, you check those valves haven't seized. I've been a victim of it. The back box that came on this car had a snapped valve, and I've had to replace the back box subsequently. But small price to pay for what is an amazing sound. So hopefully that's gone some way to explain or try and answer that question I get all the time, which is it worth having the active exhaust? In my opinion, absolutely. It just gives the car two different characteristics and makes it that much more special when you do open up the exhaust. But if you have an F Type without one, or you're looking at an F Type that doesn't have that mode, don't worry, it's not going to sound like a Prius. And that's it for another video. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Now for the bit, which is probably why you've arrived at this video. What does it sound like? Get some strange looks from people when you're just talking to a tripod.